The fastest show in sports.
The NBA, I think it's a worst case scenario for them if Oklahoma City comes in and pounds the living crap out of Indiana for the rest of this. They need a solid 7 games. And look how much we've talked about it here in the last couple of weeks of how the series between Indiana and Oklahoma is exactly what the NBA needs, with 2 small market teams, technically, because it's not the big LA-New York run. But I got to believe it's a worst-case scenario for the NBA if Oklahoma City comes in here. I mean, they pounded Indiana in Game 2. They had their number and everything. If they come in and run this series, then it's not going to look good. Then everybody's going to say, see, we told you. Small market teams, you need one of the big guns in there. The Pacers really need to step this up. This series really needs to go 7 games.
Well, it's same with the Panthers Oilers. It's the same story. If the Thunder is that much better than the Pacers, yeah, people will stop watching or they'll turn off their TV after the first half. And you don't want that as an advertiser. You don't want that as you want your finals to go see. Yeah. As a fan, unless you're a fan of a team that's better than everybody else, you want a series to go 6 or 7 games. And so, yeah, I think that it's important. I think if Indiana can get 1 or 2 and we can get to 6, that's a good plot line. If it's 2-2 and they go back to Oklahoma City, awesome. If it's 3-1, I could almost say that the Thunder, it's not like the Oilers got home ice in Game 5. The Thunder have home court in Game 5 if they come up 3-1, and it's over. And so you're right. You're right about that. That said, and I know we couldn't get it today because I threw it out there too early. If the Pacers win 1 or 2, we got to start queuing up the Hoosier hysteria stuff, the Gene Hackman clips.
You even admitted you're a Hoosiers geek.
I got so into it. I called up Bobby Plump, the guy who actually is the real life inspiration for Jimmy Chitwood in the movie. He took Milan to the title with that shot, which actually there's still a video of in the little Indiana Hall of Fame Museum in is it Muncie or Anderson, Indiana? Oh my God, it's so cool. But the bottom line is when we were Knicks beat writers, the Knicks would practice at Butler, where the last scene of the movie's filmed. We would literally. After everybody left practice, we would do the Jimmy Chitwood shot on the Butler floor, and like everybody, it was great.
Can I just say this?
So I guess
we haven't done a show since Thursday. We haven't done a show since Thursday. And that's what we did on Thursday was prior to Game 1. It was the night of Game 1. We were talking about superstars. Tyrese Halliburton on Thursday night in Game 1 showed why he could be a superstar. Hitting that shot is superstar.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton also showed in Game 2 why others don't consider him a top 10 superstar in the league. You as the alpha dog of your team in the conference finals, you cannot have a no-show. Also, his running mate, the number 2 on that team is Pascal Siakam. You cannot be a no-show on the same night when your alpha is a no-show. To your point, gentlemen, if that happens again, finito, over, done.
Well, I think what was really impressive was how Oklahoma City changed the game and how Oklahoma City took complete control. And again, there is a correlation to be made here between the NBA and the NHL Finals. The Panthers took control of game number 3 from start to finish. Oklahoma City ran that game from start to finish, and it almost seemed as if, and again, I'm sort of like the outside observer. I know the game, but not as deeply as many. It just seemed to me as if Indiana was flustered and they were being taken out of their game, and Oklahoma City ran an entirely different game than they did in Game 1. And that impressed the hell out of me with the way they played, because every time I saw it late, here it comes, it's 20 with here comes Indiana with a 3. Oh, they're right back on the doorstep. Nope, Oklahoma City answers right back. They played a perfect game. And if I'm Indiana, I'm a little concerned right now.
Mike, this is real simple. This is real simple. Indiana played Game 2 like they already won Game 1. It's real simple.
Yeah. No, that's actually that's the point I was going to make was that and the flip side of that is the Thunder had to win game 2 to win the series.
Yes.
They just had, it was mentally, emotionally, just for, evening the series, all that. Like, you cannot go to Indiana down 0-2 thinking you got to, so I felt like the Thunder, and also, they obviously they tried to play like front runners in game 1 until they got caught at the end. But if it's a close, like, I want to see Oklahoma City in another close game. If they can win a close game against this team, then I start believing in them.
Good point.
If they're just going to if they're just going to run away with it, yeah, okay, yeah, you're the best team in the league. I want to see a close game and see who shows up in the crucible of those final minutes. That's where that's where I really enjoy watching an NBA game.
Agree. And you want to know who the Thunder remind me of from a year ago? The Celtics. When not this year, but last year, even in their title run, the Celtics won by bludgeoning you. They weren't really good in close games. In part, they weren't in a lot of them. They just bludgeoned you to death. And I'm Mike, I'm with you. Congratulations, you can bludgeon a team. But can you draw up a play down 1 like the Pacers did without actually drawing up a play, and just Tyrese steps up, finds his shot, and takes it? Can you do that? When you do that, that's when you get elevated to the list of great champions.
That's all, folks.